Disclaimer. My opinions and views expressed on this podcast are only mine and do not reflect the military as an entirety. There are many departments and branches of government that I do not have a lot of or any experience with, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself and my experiences only.
You're listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, where a group of nobodies speak to an actual somebody. And now your hosts, John and Frank.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Frank.
And you're listening to the Nothing Podcast
With Nobody Important.
And boy, this week we have really got a hoot. Our friend Erin Owen is here, who is a captain in the Army Reserves.
It is a bright day in America today.
Oh, she represents us very well. And I have to say, this episode was really fascinating because our past episodes have all been real funny, and this one is funny. We play all of our games, we do all that stuff, but...
Yeah, I think the vibe of the thing is a little bit different from what we usually do, and I think it's pretty amazing, and I think she opened up a lot and spoke about herself, her life, her family, and her experiences in the military.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also kind of convenient that this episode happens to fall right in the heart of Pride Month because Erin is openly gay and was not hesitant at all to discuss with us the implications of that in the military as of years ago before it was as accepted as it is now. And it was pretty fascinating.
Absolutely. All right, so I say it's time to get decked out in your finest camo.
Tuck your bedsheet corners.
Lace up those boots.
And pet your Iraqi Camel Spiders.
As we welcome this week's guest,
Erin Owen, captain in the Army Reserves.
All right, so here we are. Here we are with the good captain herself. Erin, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to my show.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys came.
Oh, captain, my captain.
that's it.
Yes.
It's wonderful to see you. Thank you for being here with us. We really appreciate it.
I feel highly inadequate in your presence.
Yeah, definitely.
By the end of this, we will all learn how to salute.
Oh, yeah, because I have no idea. I'm so bad at it. When I try to salute, everybody looks at me like I'm a joke.
All right, let's just do this. Let's both salute, and you just rate us 1 to 10 each. Ready?
Ready, real
Got
quick.
it.
Ready?
Oh, dear Lord.
Mine's good.
You
Mine's
look like a
not
nutcracker.
bad.
What are you doing?
I would say they're probably equal. If 10 was the worst, then I would say you guys are both a 9.
Why would 10 be the worst?
Why? That's not
Erin.
usually how it goes.
It's just the higher point.
right.
Well, see, this is the things that we're learning about this. So I learned that you were a captain today. Like, right as you said your intro line, I had no idea that you were a captain.
This is true. As I'm staring right at your Captain American poster,
Yeah.
I am a captain.
You're a
in the Army
captain
Reserve,
in America.
yes.
Of America.
Of America.
Yeah,
yes.
you're one word away from being a superhero. That's
And it's a short word.
just 2 letters.
I like Wonder Woman better, though, so.
Well, that's fair. But I think she wears red, white, and blue, right?
Yeah.
She does.
Red, white, and gold. But so welcome. You are a captain in the Army Reserves.
That is a correct statement, John.
Now, this is fascinating to me because I have always been interested in the armed forces. 100% too much of a coward to do so myself, but I've always had a lot of appreciation, and I'm always impressed by those who are. So tell us a little bit about your story. Where did you... This is a big leap to make, like, right? To just choose that this is what you're going to dedicate your life to, unless you didn't think of it that deeply. Now I've just put that on you, where I'm like, so you've chosen this life. So what do you think? So how did you get into this?
So I actually started out in college. I was a music theater major.
What?
Wow.
Yes. And I was, I grew up poor. My family could not afford for my college, and I got into debt. And so I started working full time, and I was bartending at Applebee's when all these recruiters started coming in, during the evening and the afternoon, and they would try to recruit the cooks there in the back of the house at Applebee's. Yes.
Wow, I've never eaten there.
I wonder how many of our armed forces members can make a good mozzarella stick at Applebee's.
Right. How many of them can make like an Asian shrimp
Asian
salad?
salad.
Yeah.
I've had some excellent Oriental salads in my day, that's for
Right,
sure.
yeah, for
Is
sure,
that even
for sure.
PC to say at this point? We can't say Oriental salad.
Yes.
It's definitely the way it is on the menu.
I don't think that doesn't
Applebee's
sound
makes an excellent Oriental chicken salad, just saying.
That's it. Take it up with the Applebee's,
I'm just
Frank.
I'm just quoting him.
I just want to back you up for a second. What college did you go to?
I started out at Butler County Community College on a music scholarship. I was in show choir doing Sophisticated Ladies, and I was also in the choir there. I would do theater. I did Nonsense. I did back of the
classic.
stage
Love
stuff.
Nonsense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it.
What role were you in Nonsense?
I was the Reverend Mother.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Right for the
I've
top.
played Sister Amnesia.
Oh my
I think
God,
we've
I love
discussed this
Sister
before.
Amnesia.
Yeah. Go on.
I heard about that. That was really good.
Yeah.
I heard you did really good with that.
Yeah.
So got out of college. I think I did 3 years at we called it Buko Juko, and
What?
Hold up,
on
what?
there. What was that?
What Bukujuku?
Buko Juko.
we nicknamed our college Butler County Community College, BCCC. We named it Buko Juko.
As you do. Okay.
Like people call Staten Island Shaolin.
That's
Kind of similar.
sure.
Yeah, it's a Wu-Tang thing. You
I
wouldn't-
know.
You wouldn't understand.
Was yours a Wu-Tang thing?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did 3 years of Buko Juko, and then got into debt, and started to have to pay on my student loans, and so I started working full time. I started bartending and doing expo and serving at Applebee's, and they would come in. The recruiters would come in. They would try to recruit the cooks, and they would come in afterwards, and they'd sit at my bar. So me being the good bartender that I am, I know their drinks.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I just talk to them.
Just hit him with it, right?
Yeah. So they'd come in, sit down. We just all started talking about the Army. And they asked me one day if I was interested in knowing more information, and I said sure. And so they came over to my apartment and they just told me what my
I'm assuming
know,
you
possibilities
made them
were.
show you credentials first, right?
no,
And somebody just
not
shows
at all.
up at a bar and they're like, "Hey, you interested in this? Yeah, come over to my apartment."
No-
Hopefully, they showed you
Yeah.
some paperwork first.
Yeah, that's another episode, John. How I
Oh, that was before Buko Juko.
that's the deep dark secret of how I really got in the military.
Right.
So this is what our military does, though. It hits on chicks
It
at
goes-
bars
our
and goes
mili-
over to their house.
Our military has some mean game. They show up at the bars and they just try to recruit the bartenders.
That's it.
No, I was somebody that they weren't actually trying to recruit. I was just somebody that started talking to them, and so
you were trying to recruit them.
I was just trying to get to know them
Okay.
because that's what I did with all my customers.
Right, sure.
And then and they were starting to become regulars anyway because they would always come in uniform. I mean, they were distinguishable, so they were hard to miss.
Right.
They wanted those cooks.
They really wanted those cooks.
Right.
I guess the military must have been short on cooks or something.
Right. And so you eventually decided to just pack up and go with them?
I did. Well, they came over and they showed me the information that they wanted to show me, and I was interested in some of it. They were actually trying to get me to go active duty, and I decided to stay. I decided to go into the reserves more because at the time I was staying in Wichita because I was close to my father.
Now we should mention you are not originally from New York. You are from.
Yeah, I'm from Kansas.
See, I didn't tell you
Yeah,
that.
born and raised in Kansas.
That's it. What a hoot. Go on.
So they tried to get me to go active duty. I decided to go reserves because at the time I wanted to stay close to my father. He was terminally ill and he was living there in Wichita. And so I started in the delayed entry program, basically meaning I signed the contract today and my entry to go to basic training is delayed. So they did that because I was a little bit overweight from college. And I had to take some time to lose some weight and get,
The nonsense weight had to come off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
can hide
but-
a lot under that habit.
That's right.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to do in Kansas in general, let alone in El Dorado, Kansas. So there was a lot of drinking,
Sure.
a lot of partying going on.
But now then you had to lose weight before joining the military? Because I feel like they beat that out of you. Maybe I don't know.
They do to an extent.
That's
but
part of the reason I wanted to join.
they also want to make sure that you are at a healthy weight.
Right.
And that you can at least meet the minimum requirements to get in.
Okay.
So it's not like they could definitely shape you and get you into good shape, but it's also a safety precaution of, all right, so this person's a little bit too much and, they might not clear a medical physician
Right.
to get in. So we want to put more of our time and effort into someone we know is going to make it through than someone who's questionable or possibly a liability.
Right. Like you could turn somebody down. They'll turn somebody down right from the get. 'Cause
Not
I know-
necessarily. They'll give you an opportunity, especially if you really want to join. They'll give you an opportunity to...
But if you can't get in shape or you can't get up to snuff, you're out.
Yeah, eventually they're going to move
Yeah.
on.
But
See,
even
that's
for,
the thing. I'm a hard no.
But what about for a desk job?
Even for a desk job, because at the end of the day, you're a soldier first and foremost. So
Got it.
you go to war,
I always thought about doing a desk
and
job.
then you do your job. So
You can't bring your desk to Iraq.
No, you can't ride
Pound away on
it
the
out
typewriter.
there.
Ride it to
You
wheels
actually
on the
can
desk.
bring your desk to Iraq.
You can.
You can bring your desk anywhere.
What?
Really shot down.
Yeah, the army is mobile.
No, but I mean, I would get a hard pass if I tried to join the army. They'd put me out there on the field and be like, run from here to there, and then they'd be like, nope, he's out. Got to get that guy out of here.
You'd be surprised. The minimum requirements to get in
What are they?
aren't. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Like looking at us. You think we can get in? Look how skinny my arms are. Like,
Look at how fat the rest of me is.
Look at the microphone pole and then
You-
look at my arm.
You could definitely get in, but you would probably have to put on some weight.
I
And
can
they
give
could
you something if you
definitely.
want.
Could I
They
sign
could-
up with him?
Do we balance out if we sign up together?
We wear
Yeah,
one big
you guys would
t-shirt.
balance out if you sign up together.
he gets some of mine. I get it's a little bit. That's it.
Yeah,
It's America's Venn diagram.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
that's quid pro quo in a really messed up way.
So we can't get in.
So when do they give you the super soldier serum that turns you into Captain America? Because I'm gonna just jump to that part.
Let's jump from the Applebee's bar to boot camp.
Okay, so boot camp. We get to MEP station, and
What's
it's MEPS station is kind of like your in-processing station. It's like your orientation.
Okay.
You do a week of it, and you get your uniforms issued, and you get your shots, and you get,
Oh, okay. So look, just to make sure that you're on the up and up.
It's like
Right.
going to Catholic school. You
They
get your
just-
uniform, your shots.
Right. Exactly.
Right, you get your boots, you get your shots, you get your,
Shirts, pants, also. Or
yeah,
Just the boots.
yeah. I mean, they issue everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and you get
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Just give you boots.
the shots are great.
Find the costume.
Take these boots. Go. The rest you have to find in chests throughout. Take your desk. Take your, so you come from MEPS.
Yes. So-
What? I remembered. What's the problem?
What does it stand for?
no, that's great. That's
It stands
great.
for military entrance place.
Okay, let me ask you this question. What was the name of our college in the acronym?
Buko Juko.
Very good.
Nailed
Very good.
Wow,
There
you're
will be a
listening.
quiz afterward.
I love a good osobuco. Really tasty.
It is good.
So what does MEPS stand for?
It's like a military entrance processing
Oh,
station.
processing. Oh, processing station. There's an S on there. MEPS.
Got it.
I got it. Okay. We're
MEPS.
focusing on the wrong things
We have
here.
such a long way to go before she's actually
I
holding
know,
a gun.
I know.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna make it a week past basic training.
Yeah. So go on. You're into MEPS.
Yeah. So they basically it's like your orientation on a new job, and
Okay.
they prepare you for your first day. And then your first day is like definitely very interesting. In 2001, when I came in, it was I feel like it was a lot harder than it is now. Now they've eased up a bit from what I've been told and from what I've seen.
So we can get in now. Okay.
Possibly.
Wow,
Maybe
if you
not.
could see that face.
Was this before September 11th or after?
I joined the Army in April 2001. So
Wow.
I was still in basic training when September 11th hit. We were going through our end of cycle training, which is one of the final tests that you have to take before you can pass basic training, basically. I was going through that test when 9/11 hit. And during some of the phases in our basic training, because they break it down into certain phases. I can't say how many, but they break it down into certain phases. And during those phases, you kind of have to graduate each phase. End of cycle is pretty much what it stands for, end of the cycle. So in one of our cycles, they more or less played a trick on us to make us think that we were going to war. And they put us in cattle trucks and they issued weapons to us and they said, we're going to ship you off.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we were having conflicts in a certain area and we're going to ship you off. And we hadn't even touched our weapons before. So we're all kind of panicking and freaking out like, holy crap, like, yeah, I know we signed up knowing that we're going to war, but we didn't really think we were going to war this soon without all our training. So they do that, yeah.
Just to see what you're made of?
It's kind of a wake-up call. It really is kind of a... When you go to basic training, they break you down to bring you back up as a team. And that's kind of the whole point. Because when you join the military, you still have that civilian mentality. And everyone has, their own attitudes. They've got their own backgrounds. They've got their own ways that they were grown up. And they've got their own cliques. And they've got their own personalities and cultures. And when you bring all these people together, and especially if they have to fight together as a team and protect each other, you want to build each other back up as a team.
Right.
So the whole point is to break them down, and they really do break you down, and they build you back up together.
And this gets emotional, and people like freak out and cry. And
Sometimes, yes. I thought I was...
Sometimes. I feel like
I'd cry when I'm signing the paper.
Yeah, when they're like, you can't be you anymore. I'd be like, ah. Like,
Right.
I tell you, I came in with that attitude because I was, 23 years old, I think? 22, 23. And I was like, I've been in college. I've been living on my own. And I came in with this mentality like, they're not going to break me down. And when I was at the MEPS station, they told me, if you can get through basic training without them even knowing your name, you're doing a really good job. So that was my goal. And then the very first day we had shakedown, and everybody knew my name after the shakedown.
What's a shakedown?
Shakedown is where they take all your belongings and they put you out front of the barracks, and you have to shake out all your belongings, and they go through it to make sure you don't have any type of contraband or anything that's not authorized. And then you have to pack all your stuff back up, and then they confiscate anything that you're not supposed to have. And then you can have it at the end of the exercise. But during our shakedown, they also, it's a term that we use in the military. It's called smoking ya. And basically it's like, without sounding terrible, it's like a punishment phase. So, but it's to get you in shape, and it's also to break you down. So we did these things called up downs, where you have to get immediately up and immediately down.
Back
When
down
they
on the
say
ground.
up, you have to get immediately up. And then when they say down, you have to get immediately down. And the last person who's up and the last person who's down causes everyone to keep doing it. Well, I was the last person up and I was the last person down.
so they all knew you by then.
They all knew me by name. Like, you can thank Owen for this one.
Oh.
No.
Oh, man.
And you were with men and women.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
this is
It was
pre-boot
combined.
camp. This isn't even boot camp, right?
No, this is first day boot camp.
First day.
Oh
boot
God.
First
So they
day.
hated you.
They hated me. Everybody hated me.
You
It
hated
was
you.
I hated me at that point too. I was just like, so I broke down actually. I cried. And I was like,
Well, yeah.
my thick exterior was like, yeah, they're not gonna get me, and I'm
And then they
tough,
got you right
and
away.
they got me right away.
First one.
Couple up downs.
This is right, yeah.
But
First one.
Applebee's
First
bar
one
was
they
looking
got.
a lot better,
Yeah.
huh?
Right, right.
Yeah, no more slinging drinks behind the bar.
That's wild.
This one.
But now, boot camp, to me, and this is not for me sounding un-American, boot camp sounds like torture. Like unnecessary torture. And I get that it is necessary, and you can tell us why. But to me, a civilian, I hear things from boot camp and I go, they're torturing people. Just to torture people. Like, I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around a lot of the things that have to happen at boot camp and why they're necessary.
Well, a lot of it, I would imagine, is to make a psychological change in you.
That sounds like torture.
It is. It's to strip your identity, sort of, right?
Torture.
Sort of.
Or to build you up as like you
Not-
said, like a team identity.
Not so much to completely strip you of your identity, but to kind of get rid of, because you'll have gang members that will join, and you'll have it's to get rid of that street or civilian mentality and prepare you to be able to fight as a team, because at the end of the day, you're not going out to battle with your homie who's back on the block. You're going out to battle with this guy who joined with you and is standing right beside you. And you want to make sure that, he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder because back in the day you were blood, or back in the day you were a Crip,
Right. Or back in the day, you were the lead in nonsense.
Right.
Yeah, or back in the day, you got that lead in nonsense.
And they wanted that role, and now you're
they
both in
wanted
the
that
military
role,
together, and
you
they're
know?
gonna push you out of the
So
the
now
trench.
Right.
yeah, now we're
that's
forced
actually
to.
next month's Disney Channel original movie.
Yes, yes.
The blood and the nun.
The struggle was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we had a conversation a while back about making the beds. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We were making beds together. I don't know. There's probably more to that story, but we were making beds together, and you were telling me that the angles had to be specific on the folds on the corners. And my question to you was, why? And you said because that's what boot camp they teach you. that the angles have to be the 100% this perfect angle. But my question was still why.
Well,
And I never landed on an answer. So tell us a little bit about that, like those kind of crazy things that they, and I'm not saying you're saying they're crazy, America. I'm saying they're crazy. Go on. I'm just trying to cover you,
Okay.
I don't want to scare you, Erin, but I did watch the Marie Kondo special, and I'm really good at folding now. Like my pants stand up in a triangle.
Sometimes when he doesn't even want them to.
Hey,
telling
Did you get rid of everything that doesn't give you joy, Frank?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you can't bounce a quarter on your bed, if it's not that tight, then the quarter is gonna land flat and it's not gonna bounce. If it's tight, and I mean tight, it's gonna like bounce right off.
What are we talking about?
So you were supposed to.
We're still talking about the beds.
Oh, the bed.
So you were supposed to bounce a quarter off the bed,
No, but the drill sergeants would sometimes.
and they'd have to be right. Like I have a memory foam,
If
so it's not
you
bounced, it's just
did
going
not
straight in.
have if you did not have the 45-degree angle, and if you did not have the bed the way it was supposed to be made, they would tear it up, and you'd have to do it all over again.
But why? Like why?
The
did it have to
military is
be-
all about uniformity
okay.
and discipline and listening to instructions. It's all part of building you back up as a team.
Are you very good at that now?
I'm very good at making 45-degree angles on my bed corners, that's for sure.
No, I mean
She lays down on her bed. She chips the
she
tooth.
bounces back up, right? No, are you good at following orders now? Are you good at?
I am. I was very stubborn. I'm still very stubborn, but I was very stubborn when I joined the military. In fact, my mother told me before I left that she didn't think I would last 2 weeks. And that was kind of my driving force.
Did she support you going?
To an extent. They weren't very happy that I joined the military, but they also loved me and they always tried to support my decisions. Just like when they found out I was a lesbian, they
Right.
they loved me and they just tried to support my decisions. I mean, my father was gay, so it wasn't too big of
Oh,
a shock
well,
for
that's-
him. So
Weirdly convenient. You could go with that.
yeah, oddly enough, he was actually my mom was actually very supportive. But my father was like, he told me he was disappointed, not because he was actually disappointed in me, but because he was disappointed knowing that the lifestyle comes with repercussions,
sure.
like it's not easy. And so he was disappointed that I would have to go through some of that.
Oh, sure.
That he
That's
endured.
father stuff. That's
Right.
He didn't want to see you having to have any challenges.
Right.
Did your parents stay together?
No, they didn't. He was having an affair with other men, and he ended up getting AIDS. So
Wow.
That's
my
tough.
parents, yeah, it was a little scary there for a while because my mom had to be tested and find out if she had it.
What year was this?
I was 13 years old when I found that out.
Wow. So that was there. So when you came out to him, there was a lot behind that for him.
There was.
Yeah.
There was.
Wow.
But
Now, did it affect? I don't know what order in which I want to approach these things because we're really not out of boot camp yet. But
We jump back to when she's 12. We're never getting there.
I'm just saying, like,
how long is this show, John?
right.
Can I just want to
'Cause this is super interesting.
Oh, go ahead, Danielle. Danielle's got a question about boot camp.
Not
Okay.
to address that they changed the subject.
No, please.
Do you have any friends still from boot camp?
I do. Yeah, I still talk to at least 4 of them on Facebook.
Wow.
One of them just reached out to me a couple of months ago. I hadn't talked to her since boot camp. The camaraderie in the military is unbelievable.
Yes.
Well,
by
that's
the way.
part of the reason, not to interrupt, that's part of the reason why I've always thought about it. Because I went to an all-boys school. I found the camaraderie there was really not, like, unmatchable as far as, like, and people say it, we hear it, like, oh, whatever, brotherhood, whatever. But you felt it. And I hated most of them. And I still felt it. And so that's why I've always looked at the military and felt like, not that it was something that I, quote-unquote, wanted to do, but I definitely saw the benefits of being a part of a family like that and having sort of shared experience.
It is. And it's not just the military either. It's really kind of when you get like minds together, like, you're always going to get those different types of personalities in the military. Some just aren't going to get along, and some just aren't going to like the military, and they just know it's not for them, and they're going to get out. But those that stay in, they usually end up staying in for a long time, and they usually end up getting a brotherhood or, becoming a family. I can honestly say that I still talk to a lot of the people that I deployed with, and we still keep in touch on Facebook. In fact, we had a reunion back in 2015 where most of us got together and we just, got caught up to speed, basically. We hadn't seen each other in, over 10 years. But a lot of times it's just like there was no time change at all. There was no time gap. We just took off right where we left off. And I have a very, very close, I would say she's my best friend. She's like a sister to me. And ever since we deployed together, that was actually when we met. And ever since we deployed together, she has been my sister and vice versa. Like, I was a pallbearer at her mother's funeral, and she named her first child after me. I mean, we are close. And you see that a lot in the military, because you develop that family. And you can also attribute a lot of it to going back to the basics, going back to basic training and the discipline they instill when you first get there, and just building you back up as a team.
Which you need when you're on the front lines and you have to rely on each other to live. Right?
Yes.
That's the ultimate end game, I guess, right? That's the result, is you have to make a cohesive team that will survive.
Yes.
That's so interesting. Tom, you had a question?
Yeah. Just going back to your mom not believing you were going to make it through. So did you call her after you passed I'm assuming you did, right? After you passed boot camp?
They actually came to my graduation. And she was very proud. She was like, I knew you could do it. And her saying that to me actually was probably the best thing she could have said to me, because it was my driving force while I was at basic training. That and the drill sergeants, because when I first got there...
The drill sergeants are kind of hard to ignore.
Well, they kind of drilled it into me, but no, the drill sergeants on my first day there, and even my first week, they also gave me a really, really, really hard time. Like one drill sergeant spit on my bed.
Did it bounce?
It did not bounce. I did not
You
have...
Spit on your bed?
I did not have my bed made yet. And other drill sergeants would just kind of look at me because I was overweight, and they looked at me like, "You're not going to make it," and they would tell me, "You're not going to make it," and I think that they did that so that I would make it, because they saw the drive in me, and when they did see the drive in me, they kept pushing me, and they kept pushing me, and I kept pushing me, and at the end of our cycle, right before we graduated, one of the drill sergeants came up to me, and I'll never forget it. She came up to me. And she was the only female drill sergeant in our company. And she came up to me and she patted me on the back and she was like, "I'm so proud of you. You've come so far." And it was like all I could do not to like cry and tear up, because we're already finishing a really, really hard event as it is, where we had to do, I think it was a 10K march, and I'm dying inside because I'm just exhausted. Because we'd been out in the field for 3 days and gone through different warlike scenarios, and we had to do all of our training encompassed into 3 days, and it was really, really hard. Blisters on my feet, and just I stink because I've been in the field all day. And she came up and patted me on the back, and it was all I could do not to cry, because you're already in an emotional state anyway, and then that happens.
Wow. So we have a list of military-based things that simple nobodies like us would think are true, and you tell us how accurate they are.
Okay.
As far as military stuff goes. All right, some of these are movies, and some of these are concepts.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Saving Private Ryan.
I thought that Saving Private Ryan was based on a true story. Am I?
Oh, I don't know.
So
but
accurate.
in your experience, would you say that was an accurate depiction of the military life?
Well, here's the thing. The military world, okay, yes, we're American citizens. Yes, we have federal law, but we also have military law that we have to abide by. Oh. So in military movies, there has to be some kind of, for protection of us, there has to be some kind of inaccuracy in Hollywood movies.
Oh, because they don't want people to know
Everything.
So you could be lying to us now. We're the media.
I could be.
That's like a 3 as far as realistic.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that I thought that Saving Private Ryan was based off of a true story.
And you
It's been
realized-
years since I've seen the
And
movie.
you realized, oh, this can't
And I was
possibly
more
be based
focused
on, a
on
true
Meg
story.
Ryan, right? She was in that movie. Right?
Okay.
I was a
It
little
was
more
You've
focused
Got
on
Mail,
Meg Ryan
wasn't
than
it?
the actual story.
Okay. Next one. How do you rate the green army men from Toy Story?
I rate them a 10 because I grew up with the Green Army Men.
Yeah.
I did like them.
Well, I notice your feet are stuck together just like
Right.
that. Okay.
I noticed that. Yeah. In your experience, though, you've never come across any green army men.
Seriously?
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Woman has given her
Everybody's
life to this
green in my
country.
line of duty.
this woman has given a
A
life,
life to this country.
and we're asking if she's seen any green army men. Okay, this one's more based on another Hollywood concept about being in the military. Can you handle the truth? Because I've been told many high-ranking officers cannot handle the truth.
I can handle the truth.
Okay.
I sometimes don't want to always hear the truth. Because then I have to do something about it.
How would you rate Old Navy?
The clothing store?
That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
I mean, that's military.
That's like
It's
old military. Don't forget how cheap the T-shirts are
That's right.
and the graphic tees.
well,
Jeans
it's
go on sale very often.
it's not military, but
I mean, it is.
it is a good clothing store. I
Navy.
shop there sometimes.
Old Navy.
I love their scarves and hats and
Right.
their leggings.
How about the General, the insurance company? Call for the General and save some time. You know that?
You know it?
I do.
He's cartoon?
I
Yeah.
do. I like the general. He reminds me of one of my old first sergeants
Oh.
when I first enlisted.
He didn't have
Yeah.
eyes. He just
He
had the
used to
hat.
Same-
drive up in a small convertible and hop out.
Same,
also.
yeah, same height, same stature, everything.
Wow.
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. Another one with the same
Excellent
line.
chicken. Excellent chicken.
Probably bad morals, based on the period of history. He's
Yeah,
from.
yeah. He's like Django Unchained period of history, right?
Yeah.
So we don't like what he stands for, but we like his chicken?
Right.
You agree with this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we incorporated some of his chicken into our cadences.
Oh.
Oh.
Matt's got one. Frank's going to deliver it.
Say. So Matt actually brought up something called the military diet, and they're recommending eating yogurt, like a chobani on the military diet.
Do you eat chobani a lot
What are your
in
thoughts?
the military?
I'm not a Chobani type officer.
You're not.
You don't like chobani?
No, I like Greek yogurt.
Oh, chobani's the best.
I thought chobani was Greek yogurt.
Well, she only wants American yogurt.
I get it.
How do you feel about the Intrepid?
I love it. Excellent
Oh, yeah.
ship. I watched Top Gun on it last year.
Yeah?
Yes.
I always wanted to go to those
Never
events.
seen a movie on there.
It was amazing.
Wow. I'm going to ask you one. Oh, Tom's got one. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Things that's okay, like a cheeseburger MRE or those things in general.
So an MRE, first of all, is a meal ready to eat, in case anyone does not know that. And they are processed foods that are packed full of calories and stuff that we would need out in the field. Because when you're out in the field, you're doing a lot of work, you're doing a lot of exercises, and you burn a lot of calories. So MREs are a variety of meals. Like you can get chili mac in there. You can get vegetarian meals. You can get, I've seen tacos. I've seen chicken and noodles.
Did they do a kosher meal?
They do not do kosher meals.
Wow.
Excuse me,
Come on,
America.
USA.
Get with it.
However, they do, if you prepare in advance, and you do have people who have religious beliefs, they do try their best to accommodate any religious beliefs or meals or anything that you require.
Got it.
Worst one you ever had, though?
The worst MRE I've ever had was probably the chili mac.
Wow. But you said that one like it sounded so
Like the
good.
first
Like you were
one,
so
I want it.
excited to tell
Yeah.
us about that one. But it was garbage.
I laugh because there's a lot of people in the military that love the chili mac MREs,
So
and I hate it.
So Aaron, let me just check with you. You don't like the chili mac, but what are your feelings on Bernie Mac?
Didn't he die?
He did. That doesn't. Yeah, I mean, what are your opinions? On
He
it?
was funny.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
Okay.
I don't think I would have loved to hear his interpretation of an MRE.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's yes to Bernie Mac. Okay, let's see. Like I have a list in front of me. Like, Matt's got one too. You wanna? Go ahead, Matt.
In your opinion, Captain Morgan or the Gordon Fisherman?
Definitely Captain Morgan.
Because he is a man of ranking office.
Why the Gordon Fisherman?
Well, they're both nautical men.
I'm not really into nautical men.
I have the last one. Rate from 1 to 10 the United States of America. This is obvious.
Okay, so it was 10 being the highest,
10 is the
like the most
highest.
positive.
Yes.
We're an 11.
Yes. USA. 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 USA number.
God bless
10.
the
I was gonna say number
USA.
1. There you go. There you go.
Wow.
And so now you mentioned that you have been to Iraq.
Yes, I deployed 2004 and 2005 to Iraq.
And so how long was that after? You said you joined in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So you did the boot camp thing. You graduated. And then sounds like not too long after that.
It wasn't. I was actually supposed to deploy in 2003 when the war first started, but my father got really sick, and I ended up speaking to the chaplain, and I got to stay home with him. And then a year later, or almost a year later, my unit that I was assigned to got called up. And so I talked to my dad, and I asked him, are you okay? If I go? And he said, yes, I'll be fine. Go do what you got to do. And so I went and talked to my commander and said, I'd like to go with the unit. And so I ended up training with them, and we left for the sunny skies of Iraq.
Wow. How long
For
were
a
you
year.
there?
I was there for a year. Yeah. The deployments were a lot longer then. They changed them to, I think, 9 months because they were rotating soldiers out so much that we were losing soldiers. So for sanity's sake and for other reasons, we shortened their deployments.
So what did you do while you were there?
I deployed as a truck driver. One of our experiences in our trunking company was we crossed the Tigris River a lot. And upstream, you would always see people bathing, or you'd see dead animals. I mean, they did this. They used the Tigris River for everything. And to cross the Tigris River, we had to have a homemade bridge. So we had a homemade bridge company come in, and they made this homemade bridge structure, and we had to take these really, really heavy trucks over these bridges, and it was absolutely terrifying.
Were they made of wood?
The bridges float. They float on top of the water. Whoa. So they kind of move when you drive over them too. So it's like this floating bridge is moving while you're driving this huge truck over the water. And there were times where our convoys would get stuck on the bridge, and it was one of the most terrifying experiences I had over there. I mean, I had some terrifying experiences, but crossing that bridge in the Tigris River on a huge truck.
A guy taking a shower to your left, you got a dead goat to your right.
Yeah, it's like, I really hope that these people know what they're doing when they're building this bridge, because I would hate for this truck to go in the river.
Oh my God.
Right.
While I'm stuck on it.
So when the military goes over there to a country like that, builds that bridge that's strong enough for the trucks to get across, do they then leave said bridge there for the citizens to use, or they take it down and go, not for you, just for us?
They did have some citizens using the bridge, because there were 2 bridges there, and I think they both were structurally damaged too bad, and one of them was blown up. So we used one primarily for us, but we did allow them to use our bridges sometimes.
But when you leave, take the bridge with you?
We take the bridge with us.
Oh, you do? That's kind of what I was asking.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, what's the harm in leaving it?
What do you think about the toll on the Verrazano?
I think it's too high.
Okay, good.
Okay, so here's a funny story. They also found out that I was a bartender, so
So
they
you opened the Applebee's in Iraq.
The first
kind
Applebee's
of
in Iraq.
they did an interview on me because we had made up our own MWR.
What's that?
It's kind of like an entertainment center.
Oh,
A place
okay.
a place for soldiers to go and relax.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
Watch TV or let loose or have some drinks or play games. And so they made this little bar back there, and one of our soldiers in the unit had hookups back in the States, and they got us hooked up with, a bunch of different flavored drinks, the syrups and stuff like that.
Of course,
and before I knew it, we had like a full bar of different flavors.
Wow.
And an ice machine. And I mean, stuff was coming in left and right. I didn't ask questions. I put it together.
So you were the bartender of Iraq.
I bartended and I made drinks for the soldiers whenever they would come back from their
Did
covers.
they have funny names, these drinks?
Yeah, I would, make some Roy Rogers, and I'd make some, Arnold Palmers. And,
Oh, good Arnie Palmies.
But there were
always
no
good.
Iraq names for the drinks.
Well, sometimes they would get creative. Like I would have the soldier's name. I'd mix some stuff and I'd say, give it a name and.
Like Sandy and Stormy.
Right, like a giant deadly spider. That's
you go.
something that they have
Yes.
there, right?
Yes, those are no joke over there.
Yeah,
by the
so
way,
what's it like over there in Iraq?
it's very hot and it's
Sure.
very dry.
Sure, both things I expected.
Yes,
Probably didn't need you to tell me those things. Are there giant bugs?
There are huge giant spiders. They're camel spiders,
Yeah, no, I'm good.
and they chase. They look like they're chasing after you, but what they're really doing is they're chasing after your shadow because it's so hot. And
So if you
they're just trying to
stand
keep cool.
still, it'll just chill in the shadow.
Right. But if you're like
Who's
running
gonna-
away from it, it'll run after you.
Because who's going to stand still
it's-
when the camel spider's there?
How big are these things?
They can get pretty big. I've seen some the size of the shovel.
Oh my God. She has her hands like in a dinner plate shape.
Yeah, they can get that
Oh,
big.
hell no.
Do you kill them? Do you kill them?
Do you shoot them?
Do you
they-
step on them with a
I-
giant boot?
I was lucky enough not to encounter any of them.
Right, but-
I had some living under my fuel truck, but I never bothered them, and they never bothered me.
Oh,
So
God.
Is it illegal to kill them?
it's legal to kill them.
In the middle of
Yeah.
the who knows?
I'm just saying.
Like a grasshopper?
It's not like
It
their
doesn't seem-
mascot
it's not
over
an
there.
ant. It takes some effort to kill it. You have to. It's like shooting a dog.
Yeah.
Smoke a cigarette in between.
Yeah.
You punch
Yeah,
it a
but
few times.
Did anyone get bit?
Not in my company that I heard of.
Oh, good. That makes me feel better. Okay, so this is going to seem like a weird question, but let me get there first. You hear a lot of time in TV and movies and things like that people talk about it being difficult being gay in the military. And you hear a lot about it in social media. Now, for us, we're a group of nobodies here. We don't really know much about it, about how much of that is really a universal experience. I know, obviously, it's based in reality. A lot of people have trouble or had trouble at certain times. But would you say that did you have any issues? Did you run into any issues being openly gay in the military? And if you didn't, did you see other people who did?
I did have issues myself, and I've also seen people who've had issues. When I first joined, the military had what was called Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That has since been repealed, but under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, they, even if they suspected that you were gay, unless they had hard evidence to show that you were, again, these are hard to prove. I'd never had to go through anything like this, but I heard they were hard to prove. But you had to show that or prove that someone was gay before you could accuse them of being gay. Otherwise, you could not bring it up. So anyone who brought it up could be in just as much trouble as someone who was actually gay.
They have to like catch you like kissing somebody. Like how would you?
Yes.
How would you prove that?
Photos or video or...
But could they dig stuff up from your past or stuff from since you've been in the service?
That's actually a good question because I never really experienced anything like that. I never had someone try to dig up my past to prove me wrong. And maybe that's because I was nice to people. You know, I'm sure if I was a complete douche that I'm sure people could have dug up some stuff on me. But a lot of this I think was before the Facebook days as well, and MySpace and all that other, Twitter and all that other technology. So that kind of saved me a little bit. I did push the boundaries once, and I did have a little bit of a rainbow sticker on my bumper once. But like I said, it wasn't. it wasn't a huge secret that I wasn't gay, and I knew that they couldn't ask me, but I wasn't forthcoming with the information. And so in many ways that protected me, that the don't ask, don't tell policy protected me from having any repercussions.
But it takes a certain type of person to have such an issue with someone's, sexual preferences or lifestyle to really go hunting down that person's, backstory. Like if you needed to prove it, and there's somebody who really needed to prove it so bad, they're showing up with pictures and they're showing up with this and that. At a certain point, that person should get thrown out of the military for being a crazy person.
Right, but they probably would want to get you out and looking for any reason to get you out of the whole thing to begin with. Right?
Yes and no. I think that when Don't Ask, Don't Tell first came out, I think that there were a lot more struggles than there were just before it was repealed. Because when I came in, things had calmed down a bit. There were still people who were in the service who were completely against it. They were paranoid anytime they had to go out to the field and take a shower with these people, that people were watching them. And sometimes, you would hear stories about people getting beat up because he looked at me in the shower, and it does happen. And it started to come back up again whenever the transgender was brought up as being authorized in the military as well. And so they had to put certain restrictions in place to protect them so that things wouldn't happen when Don't Ask, Don't Tell first came out. But I had experienced some things that they could get around of whenever I deployed. So I had a partner at the time, and I say partner, but we were together for 12 years, so you could say easily that we were married, but it wasn't legal. We had a house, we had 2 dogs together, so but I had a partner at the time who I couldn't collect any benefits for because I couldn't legally marry her. And when I deployed, when I was getting ready for deployment, I had to put her down as a friend, number one, on, my insurance forms and my beneficiaries and my power of attorney. I actually put her down as my power of attorney. And I had to be counseled for all that, so that my leadership knew that they knew that I was making the decision that I was making, that I was making a legitimate decision to put not a family member or a spouse, but a friend down as a power of attorney, or a friend down on my beneficiary for death gratuity, So there were little things like that that really bothered me because I had to be counseled for that. But then you had people who were married and not putting their spouse down and were not being counseled.
But how does it feel to defend a system at the time and a country and legitimately lay your life on the line, and from the jump, when you're filling out the paperwork, that same system is telling you you can't be you?
Because at the end of the day, it's not about an individual's opinion, which is really what it boils down to. I mean, when something like that happens, that is, to me, is based on an individual's opinion or a policy in place, maybe not so much to discriminate, but a policy put in place to protect soldiers, to make sure that they're making the right decisions, whether it's appropriate or not. The bigger picture is what keeps soldiers going as far as what we're really fighting for. When you think about the big picture, the little stuff tends to go away. I mean, we have a lot of problems in America, and fighting for our freedom is a part of fighting for that equality. So you can't get caught up in the little mundane ankle biter stuff that happens.
Right.
And you also have to use that as fuel to keep doing what you're doing because you know it's the right thing.
And you're looking at the trajectory of the nation.
Yes.
Wow.
Were you always so patriotic?
No. In fact, when I joined the military, I was not patriotic at all.
I imagine you're not the only one.
No. Most of the people at basic training, we were asked by our drill sergeants, why we joined the military. And I would say probably about 10% of them answered, patriotically. I initially joined because I was overweight and I wanted to get paid to get in shape, and I wanted college money. Those were initially why I joined.
Did you say that?
I did.
They probably appreciated it.
Yeah, what are they going to say?
Yeah, I mean,
you're
most
honest.
of the people did.
That's ballsy.
Yeah, most of the people did. There were a few people who, they grew up in a military family, and so they answered, this is what I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to serve my country and, do my time. And
as we speak about enlisting and things like that, maybe we should.
Yeah, we're going to get into our improv game.
Okay.
All right. So this is an improv. You're going to be you. We're going to be us.
Okay.
And I think the scenario will be we're all together in the barracks, right? Is that what you call it? Where you sleep?
Yes.
That's where you sleep, right? And we can't figure out this whole bed thing, but you're like really good at it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Here we
What
go.
are our names?
Private Joe and Private Snuffy.
Yes.
Who am I?
You're Snuffy.
Oh, damn it.
All right.
Okay.
And they're themselves.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Oh God, I can't figure out how to. This bed is driving me crazy, man.
Okay, so what seems to be the problem,
I
Private
just
Joe?
don't. I'm so bad at angles. I failed that. I didn't pay attention, and I came here because I didn't think I'd need to know math, and yet
Here
I
we
am.
are.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show you a little trick to
Okay.
get a perfect 45-degree angle.
Okay.
All right. So at the corner of your bed,
Got it.
Right.
take the sheet.
Okay, this is a fitted sheet though.
No, mine's
No.
not fitted.
Oh, they gave me.
Oh, that's why.
They gave me the wrong sheet.
Here,
Oh
try
my
it with mine.
God.
Try
all
it
right,
with
all right,
mine.
all right.
Next,
sheets
all right,
now,
let's
okay.
go to Joe. Let's go to Snuffy.
All right,
Let's
Private
do this.
Snuffy.
Okay. It's ready.
All right, Private Snuffy.
Hurry. He's coming back. He's coming back. We got to get this.
All right.
Okay.
So you take your sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. You pull it tight on both ends.
I got it.
Pull it tight on both ends.
All right.
Pull it tight on the bottom.
But I don't have enough hands.
I'll help you.
All right, hold
You'll
this
make
end.
it.
I got it. I
All
got
right,
it.
ready?
Okay.
Let's pull it.
Pull
Go.
it. We're pulling it.
Get Joe underneath.
All right.
So
Don't
he can
ask, don't tell.
So
Wait
he
a
can
minute.
pull your sheet tight on the bottom.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Is this in? Is this it?
This is good. Now, Snuffy, I need you to straddle over him so you can get the edges
All right, get over here.
high and
Wait,
tight.
what are we doing over
Okay.
here?
We're getting the. Okay, it looks good. It looks good. Oh, here he's coming. He's coming.
coming,
He's
he's
coming. Here comes the drill sergeant. Yeah. Yes, come in. What do
Hey,
we say?
knock.
What do we say when they come in? A 10 hut.
Room attention.
Yeah, that's right.
Do the drill sergeants knock?
This one did.
Okay, he's polite.
I knocked, and
Yeah.
here I am. A 10 hot?
A 10 hut.
Is it
Sergeant who?
Is it De Niro? No, it's
All right.
Al Pacino. As
Al
the
Pacino.
sergeant.
I'm here to inspect your beds.
All right, inspect my bed. How's it look?
All right. Wait, which one is it?
I'm Joe.
Joe?
Oh God, he's peeing
First
on
of all-
your bed.
It's yes, drill sergeant, no drill sergeant.
Yes, drill sergeant.
Yeah.
Yes, drill sergeant, no drill sergeant.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
drill sergeant.
Yes,
drill sergeant.
Drill sergeant.
All right,
No
let's-
drill sergeant.
Come and look at this bed.
All right.
All right. Who told you how to fold?
That was
That was Captain Erin Owen.
Captain Erin
She
Owen?
told us.
We're giving her a slide. She does a good job.
Drill sergeant, I'm going to need you to stand at attention when you address me.
Yo, she's talking to the drill sergeant like that.
All right. Guess who's eating chili mac MRE tonight?
Oh wait. He just needs to bounce the quarter real
Yes.
quick.
There
All
we
right.
go.
All right, here we go. Quarter. Did you
Hold on.
bounce?
Like a ball.
All right. All right. Very
We
good.
did it. We can
Very
go
good.
shoot
Thanks,
the
Tom.
guns now.
Before I leave,
We're done, Tom.
who wants to pet my camel spider?
That's an inappropriate question, drill sergeant.
Give the mic back, Tom.
I'm offended, drill sergeant.
All right, I have a real question.
Okay.
I have a real question.
Okay.
You're in the military. We are civilians. Do you feel different from us?
No, I don't. Not when I'm in civilian world. And I think a lot of that is because I'm just in the reserves. So, 26 to 28 days out of the month, I'm a civilian. I drill 1 week in a month, and then I do an annual training, which is usually about 2 weeks in the summertime. So when I'm in uniform, though, I do not feel like a civilian. It's really weird. I go straight into military mode.
That's got to be the best part. What's your uniform like? I've always wanted one, but then it would be impersonating the military. So
They're actually pretty comfortable. And the boots are comfortable once you break them in.
you love the boots. What about the rest of it? Shirts, pants, comfortable?
Yeah, they're comfortable.
Oh, this is the
Are
second
they
time you've
are they
referred to
camo?
boots
Are they like the
specifically.
pixelated camo?
Yeah, I'm still wearing the pixelated camel. They're called the ACUs. They are switching the uniform though to a more universal uniform to wear in either the desert or the jungle or any scenario.
That's got to be a hell of a job to test the camo. Step back there, Bob.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
I hope
We gotta go a little darker. Let me tell you something. When I see the military people in the camo out in the street, I know that I'm supposed to say thank you for your service and salute. Really, I just want to go, I can see you. Who are you hiding from? You're not hiding out here.
Not out here. You have to have a fire hydrant on your leg.
Right, yeah. If you're not, what do you think? You're a chameleon?
You don't have to say thank you for your service. It is very nice to hear.
Well, I haven't said it to you so far since you've been here.
Let's
I'm
all say it.
disappointed. Let's all say it. Ready? Thank you for your service.
Wow, that was
all
almost
that was
like you guys practiced
That
that.
was like ghosts
Do
saying
you
it.
still want to protect us after this? You're like, this is what I'm fighting
I
for,
do.
these assholes in the living room?
I'm fighting for the bigger picture.
Okay.
Snuffy.
It's not us.
Yeah, Tom, you had a question?
Do you still fold your bed sheets like?
I still make my bed like that. I still have 45-degree corners. Yes,
At home?
at home.
Well, where else is your bed?
Yes, and I make my bed. I try to make my bed every morning.
You have all the weapons training. I know
Correct.
you've mentioned before you don't care for shooting that much.
I don't love shooting the M16.
What's your favorite weapon to shoot?
I do love shooting the M9,
Oh.
the 9mm.
And do you have permission to carry?
Not in New York.
Okay.
Not yet.
So how do you explain the gun on the table in front of you?
It's for intimidation, Frank.
Oh, it had an orange tip, so I just figured it was
it's
fake.
fine. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
it's a
fine,
nerf.
fine.
And I saw that. No, but really, are you? So you're not allowed to carry in New York State?
No, I have to do the training to carry in New York State. I haven't
Go
done it
for
yet.
it. Why not? What is it? A day?
What's the
Put it
training?
in,
You gotta
no
hold the gun
problem.
sideways in New York? It's the
Yeah,
same thing.
Well, I did not have to take the training when I lived in Kansas or Missouri, and
No, because you're born with it, and they put it in your hand.
it's more of a privilege there. But even then, I didn't carry openly in the state.
Okay.
What country has the wimpiest army?
Let me do my research, and I'll get back to you on that. I don't know.
You had to go with your gut on this, though.
It's
Canada?
It's gotta be
Does
the
Canada
Swiss.
have an army?
It's gotta be the Swiss.
The Swiss?
They're
gotta
out there
come
with
on,
the
they got
chocolate.
good-
They got
they got-
chocolate all over their mouths. They're out there marching around.
The kid from Willy Wonka?
Yeah. Augustus.
Ah, yes.
Augustus
The
Gloop?
old stereotype. Swiss people with chocolate on their mouths.
And
The
pocket
world that I
knives.
live in, Matt.
You got
Get a
pocket
Swiss person in here. I'll interview him. That's what this is about.
Hey, they make a good knife.
Prove me wrong. Swiss people eat chocolate.
That's right. They're running around with corkscrews, so it's not them.
I do not know. I've done no research on the,
Well, you're allowed
the
to say-
wimpiest army.
You're allowed to say France. That's kind of the acceptable answer here in the United States, I guess, right? We're supposed to hate them? I don't hate them.
I don't know that I'm allowed to say France, but I do know that we weren't very happy with them for not supporting us when we were
All right, freedom
over in
fries.
Iraq.
I remember all that.
Yep.
Semantics.
But I
very
think all
important
is
to people
forgiven
then.
now.
Are you as intimidated, being in the military yourself, are you as intimidated by the guys with the guns in Penn Station as I am? Or you know that, like, they're on your side? Because I don't. I know they're supposed to be on my side, but they look like they're ready to go.
They're looking
with those
for
guns.
somebody to
They're
shoot.
looking for somebody.
Guys with guns intimidate you?
100%. Because guess what? They can kill me, and I can't kill them.
Yeah, but they're not. You're not the intended target, so they're not out to kill you. I'm not intimidated by them.
Are you intimidated by us?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, moving on. This is a. I think it's a simple question. What do you love about America?
I would say right now the thing that I love the most about America is that I can legally get married. It really bothered me when I came back from Iraq and we still were fighting for, and when I say we, I'm talking about, the LGBTQIA community. We were still fighting for just simple human rights. And the fact that I just come back from Iraq and I'd fought, for freedom, and, I was disgruntled coming back anyway because I had my own issues when I was over there. And here I am coming back to America, where it should be land of the free, home of the brave, and I'm still fighting for first-class citizen rights just because of an orientation. And it really, really bothered me for years. The best thing that we did was repeal DOMA and the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy and make it legal for everyone in this country to get married.
I think we'd all
We
agree
can't
with
clap
that.
again. I
Can't
know we're
clap
not supposed
for
to
that
clap,
one.
but
Well, we should clap for it because we all agree.
But
Except for Matt. Matt, what do you think of? No, I'm kidding.
to me, that makes us.
Mean grimace going on over there. What's that red hat you're wearing there, Matt? Matt is not wearing a red hat.
Poor Matt.
Yeah, no, I have another question.
Yes, I have 2 wiener dogs.
Ah, wonderful.
Is one named Burger?
That's the funniest thing. When someone names a dog like Burger or like Hot Dog.
What are their names?
Ginger and Stella.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. Is that like your favorite drink?
No, Captain Morgan is my favorite drink.
Wow, back in the game, Captain Morgan.
Matt's
Clearly,
back.
Matt's favorite drink is Gordon's Fisherman.
And you can't find that at Applebee's.
No. So is the fort the safest place to be? Because when I walk on the fort again, and I'm starting to think I just maybe am afraid of the military, I feel unsafe there. Again, a lot of guns. Maybe this is a me thing.
Yeah, I think it's very safe.
Is the fort safe?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
where you want to be.
Yeah. So would you rather be in the hood or on a fort where you're protected?
Well, those are the
I
opposite
mean,
things.
I don't live in either of those places, so I don't know what. Both in both of those situations, I'd stop and look around and go, "How'd I get here?"
Okay, so if you were on a, they're not called forts when you go overseas or if you're in an operation. They're not called forts, but I'll call them forts because I'm not supposed to call them what they're actually called.
Okay.
You can't say the name.
No.
Okay.
So if you were on a fort in a foreign country, let's say Iraq, would you rather be off the fort or on the fort?
I'm with you. It's like if you go to like the Dominican Republic and you want to stay on the resort because like
Right.
it's probably best.
Right.
Yeah, stay
Although
away from
now-
the drinks and the food.
Stay away from the drinks.
Can you lead us in some military chants or what are they called?
We're ready.
Some cadences?
Cadences. Can you lead us in some cadences? If you teach them to us, we'll repeat them and we'll do it like in the military.
Okay.
Or in the movies, at least, military.
We have to run through them, though, so you know how to actually do it.
Let's do it.
Unless you don't mind.
It's not just like a call and response.
Calling response?
Like a call.
Sergeant
you're gonna
Slaughter,
be- you're gonna be
54,
calling the-
couldn't
Like
fit
a-
through the bathroom door.
Right, like
Did
a
it all
call
over
and
the
response. You
kitchen.
do it, and then we answer.
It's not the
Okay.
Sergeant Slaughter 54.
I wish it was.
All right, so one of my favorite cadences, it's kind of like a, when I first heard it, it sounded like gospel to me.
And they really do these.
They really do these.
Okay.
Yep. So, just repeat after me.
Okay.
All right, so let me get a beat going here.
Okay.
Because honestly, when you're out there, you're marching. So your marching's kind of like your beat.
Okay. Well,
Alright.
it's everything is we repeat after you.
Yes.
All right, then we can all do it together.
Okay, everybody in.
I left my home
I left my home
for the army.
for the army.
I left my home
Oh,
for the army.
For the army.
No, we did the first part.
Wait, let's try it again. I like that one. I like that one. Okay.
All right, again, we're ready.
Yeah, when I hold on to it, you guys just keep going with the rhythm. You guys aren't gonna deviate at all. You're just gonna go. Let me sing it for you.
Okay, I want to hear it.
All right, so I'm gonna go. I left my home for the army, for the army. I left my home for the army, for the army.
Got it.
Got it.
Okay, I
That's
can
it.
do it now.
Got it.
Oh, I'm so
Hey, you just
ready.
repeat
I
what I
feel
say.
loose. Okay.
You wanna stretch?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I left my home.
Wait. Okay, wait. I gotta know something. Does it hop on right away?
How many beats
Right
in
away.
between?
As soon as I'm
Left
done.
my home.
Yeah, on the beat.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I'm
Guys,
ready
make
now.
sure you're close. Yeah.
Soldiers will do the exact same thing that you guys just did. Whenever I'm like, I left my home, they'll go.
Well, they're
I
counting
left
time,
my
Aaron.
You're having a music rehearsal in the army. All right, we're ready.
Here we go.
Here we go.
3,
Okay.
2, and go.
I left my home.
I left my home
for the army.
for the army.
I left my home.
I left my home
for the army.
for the army.
I left my home
I left my home
for the army.
for the army.
I left my home.
I left my home
for the army.
for the army.
My mother cried
My mother cried
the day I left.
the day I left.
She thought that I was gonna die.
Was gonna die.
My daddy cried
My daddy cried
the day I left.
the day I left.
My daddy cried.
My daddy cried
for the army.
for the army.
I left my home
I left my home
for the army.
for the army.
I left my home.
I left my home
for the army.
for the army. Yes. Are we in? Are we in?
Did we make it?
That was perfect.
No!
That was great.
All right.
Now we
That
can
was
go to
better than a lot of
regionals.
soldiers doing. That
Yes.
was great.
That was better, right?
Soldiers aren't as
You-
classically trained.
there's potential for you guys yet.
Yes.
Let's
I
get
could
you
be out
signed
there
up.
Making them up.
We don't
Let's
want
get
to
you
brag,
signed
but
up.
We're good.
Let's make one up, Frank.
Okay, me and we'll do the and you repeat.
Okay.
Okay. All right, give me a beat. Here we go.
Here we go.
Welcome to Applebee's.
Welcome to Applebee's.
Get down on your knees.
Get down on your knees.
Pass the mac and cheese.
Pass the mac and cheese.
Unless it's MREs.
Unless it's MREs.
That's it. That was it. We're sergeants now.
Yes, we are
are.
farmers. Oh, that's wrong.
You just got promoted.
Yeah, and we're fired. All right.
Wow.
Erin, that was wonderful.
Oh, that was a blast.
I
had
want to
fun.
thank you so much for coming here.
I hope I don't
uh,
get fired.
You're not going to get fired. I mean, I can't say that for a fact.
I'm just kidding.
But I want to thank you for being here. And I think we're going to go around the room, and all of us are just quickly going to say 4 words that I think we all mean. I want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service in the military and at Applebee's.
Everywhere. We appreciate it, and thank you for being in our neighborhood. That's the Applebee's thing, right? Thanks, Erin.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
I
much
had
for
fun.
being here. Tom's also
blessed.
thankful for your service. He just doesn't feel like saying it.
Yeah, he's a tree frog.
You've been listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, a cool side production, hosted by John Panepinto and Frank Caiati, with contributors Matt Hunt, Joe Hagopian, and me, Danielle Rosefisher, and engineered by Tom Zaccheo. Find us online at nothing-podcast.com, and be sure to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed.